In this video, I'll demonstrate the Health tab functions of the RUCKUS Analytics tool. The Health page provides information about network health by giving insights about key performance indicators, KPIs, of the network. It allows you to set the desired network behavior and analyze the network health and behavior in real time. You can evaluate network health based on a variety of thresholds that you set. These are called goals. For example, you can set the goal or threshold to 5 seconds for all clients to connect to the network and confirm the number of clients accomplishing the 5-second goal in real time. At a high level, the page also displays the connection attempts, successful connections, failed connections, connection status, and the average time to connect. So from the dashboard, I've selected the Density Virtual Smart Zone E cluster, and I'm going to go to the Analytics tab, and then I'll click on the Health tab. So you can see from this that we have the Unique Connected Clients tile displays the range of clients attempting to connect to the network. So the connected attempts in this case are 10,000 plus. You've got 7.9K successful. You have about 2,000 unsuccessful, which gives me about a 79% connection rate. And then we have the average time to connect. You can modify the range of clients by moving the scroll bar, and this automatically changes the trends displayed in the overview connection performance and infrastructure. So I could grab this and move it back and forth, and you'll notice that this also changes down here. Or I could click on one of these and I could roll my mouse button and I could select fewer or I could select more. And as I do that, you'll see over here under connection status and time to connect and so forth, you'll see that these values will change over here. If I scroll down a little bit, you'll see that we have Overview Connection Performance and Infrastructure. The Overview tab displays information about successful client connections, time taken by the client to connect to the network, client throughput, and AP capacity. So we have several graphs on here. The pill-shaped box displays the percentage of successful connection attempts. The time series graph displays the percentage of successful connection attempts, and the histogram over on the right displays a bar chart of success percentage where the x-axis displays time in hours, days, and weeks, and the y-axis displays the successful percentage. So we have different categories here: the connection success, we have time to connect, we have client throughput, we have AP capacity, and we have AP service uptime. So for example, in time to connect, in this example, our histogram over here says the goal was 2 seconds, and that's what we've selected here. 80% has met that goal. Let's say that your SLA requirement was 90%. So then you have to decide, well, what can I do in my network to get a time to connect of 90%? So it might be things like adding more APs, less clients on an AP. It might be things like band balancing. It might be things like setting fixed channels and so forth. So what you want to do is measure the performance against what your SLAs are. So for example, if I wanted to change this, I could just toggle this over to 5 seconds, and then I could hit save, and you'll see that, well, 90% met that. At 1 second, we can see that 69% met that goal. So you can scroll this histogram bar right or left depending upon what your time in seconds is for your time to connect, and you can see what the network performance is. If I hit reset, that'll just set back to whatever the default goal was for the tools. So I'll set this back to 5, which is what it was set to. Client throughput, same thing here. We can go through on that. This displays the percentage of client sessions with the average throughput that met the SLA that we set over here. So in this case, it was 50 megabits per second, and we're seeing that we have 80% have met that goal. Once again, if you had an SLA of 90%, then you're going to have to tweak your network to get that result. But at least this shows you what the performance of the network is. Then we have AP capacity. Once again, we get percentages on that. And we have AP service uptime. If I go back up to the top and I click on connection, the connection tab displays information about successful client connections, the time taken by the client to connect to the network, the association, user authentication, DHCP, and RADIUS. So as we scroll down here, you see connection success, time to connect, association, user authentication at layer 2, DHCP, RADIUS, and roaming success down here. Now these are all fixed histograms over here, except for time to connect. And once again, you can see what your metrics are, and if you need to adjust your network to meet a higher SLA agreement, then this gives you information on how you might redesign your network. On the Performance tab, if If I click on that, you'll see that this is going to measure client throughput, AP capacity, and client signal strength. And once again, over on your histogram, you can adjust this to see where you're at. So for example, client throughput at 50 megabits, we're about 81% met their goal. AP capacity, we've got 82% meeting the goal. And on the signal level, we're saying that the goal was a minus 75 dBm and 49% met that goal. So here's a perfect example that, let's say that you wanted this to be 75 or 80%. So for example, if you want to get this higher, you might have to place more APs in your network. And finally, on the infrastructure tab, if I click on that, you'll see that this tab comprises information about the time taken for the AP to respond to the controller. So for example, AP service uptime, 73% met the goal there. AP to smart zone latency, we have a metric on that, and we're about 96% have met that goal. And on cluster latency, our metric is 100% meets the goal. So as you can see, the health page provides valuable information about the network health and behavior in real time. And if you need to adjust your network to meet some of the SLAs, this tool will help you to evaluate your network in order to do that.